Cookies. Honestly, is there anyone out there who doesn't like cookies? From chocolate chip to oatmeal raisin, from sugar cookies to pressed cookies, there's so many different types of cookies out there. One type has to tickle your taste buds. And people of all ages, from the young to the elderly. There's even sugar-free recipes for those who need to watch their sugar intake. Everyone can enjoy a cookie every once in a while. Today I'm going to give you the basic building blocks to baking any type of cookie. In order to bake a batch of delicious cookies, you will need to follow 3 steps. First, you will need to prepare. Second, you will need to bake. And third, you will need to decorate. I've already made a batch of peanut butter chocolate chip cookies tonight. So you'll see some of my stuff might be a little dirty, but you'll see my end product at the end of this speech. So the first step in baking any batch of cookies is to prepare. So you'll have to go over your recipe and check out what different ingredients you may need, from flour to eggs, baking soda, baking powder. Don't mix those two up. I've done it before, but I've learned from my mistake. Sugar and salt, but never too much. And then anything else that you may need. Then you'll also want to get out your tools that you will need. From mixing bowls to cookie sheets, like this one right here. Still has a little bit of grease on it from what I baked earlier. Then you'll need measuring cups. Here's my measuring spoons for teaspoons and tablespoons. Don't mix those up either, because if you are supposed to have a teaspoon of salt and you put in a tablespoon of salt, that's these two right here. There's a big difference. So you'll have some salty cookies. And then if you're making, cutout cookies, you'll need to have your shapes. So here I have some mustache cookies. Yeah, they're pretty fun. So now that you have all your tools set out, you also have to preheat your oven. Mine's right back here. Now that everything is set up, it'll make it so much more easier to get things done, because you won't have to go grabbing into cupboards. Everything's set out, laid out, easy. Now, the second step then is to bake. First, you'll need to scoop out your cookie batter and place it onto the cookie sheet. Now, this is good for, chocolate chip cookies, those kind of cookies. If you have made cutout cookies, with these mustache ones, then obviously they'll already be cut out, so you'll just have to set them on there. When you have the scoopable kind, I usually use a spoon. My stepmom uses an ice cream scooper to get the perfect size, she says. But you'll have to place them on there and make sure that you leave enough space in between, because those will expand. The cutout ones, like the mustaches, will not really expand if they do like a centimeter. So you can have them a little bit more closely, but still give them enough room. Now, once everything's on the cookie sheet, you'll put them in and bake them. The key to baking it to the perfect temperature is to not leave it in for too long. It's better to put the cookies in for a shorter amount of time, because you can always keep them in longer. If you keep them in for too long at first, then you'll end up with burnt cookies, and there's no uncooking burnt cookies after that. So you're kind of stuck with them. Then once the cookies are done baking, you'll leave them on the cookie sheet for about a minute, and then you'll scoop them off and put them onto the cooling rack. And cooling rack obviously lets them cool. So after they're on the cooling rack, we'll move on to the third step, and that is decorating. If the cookies are not the decorating kind, like the chocolate chip or the peanut butter chocolate chip I made tonight, then right here, you're done. Then you just have to keep them away from all the other hungry people in your house. But if you made the kind that you can decorate, which obviously you don't have to if you don't want to, this is more of a voluntary thing. But, you know, if you have these and you want to draw like the little individual hairs with your icing, this is the step. So, from icing, you can do that, to decorating with frosting, like I said, with the lines and the mustache. Or you can just keep it simple. You got a little round sugar cookie, spread some frosting on top, call it a day. Easy. Now that all your cookies are decorated, we're on to the last step. I know I told you that one was the last step, but I tricked you. The last step is to enjoy your cookies. You've done it. I know baking my first batch of cookies was a trying time. You know, I think I had flour on the ceiling, all this stuff, but we all made it through. So, as I told you, I will show you my finished product, which is right there. Those are my finished cookies. And now remember, you don't have to be a master baker to bake the most delicious cookie, or even just any cookie that you can eat. All you have to do is prepare, bake, and decorate. Now that you have these basic building blocks, go out there. Find a recipe that works for you, tweak it, make it your own, and good luck.